Today we'll take a second look at the great little SPA PR900W, in South Africa also known as the Predator, but this time in .177 caliber. It is exactly the same lightweight, compact, handsome rifle in the classic hunting style with the beechwood stock that I have tested earlier. Except of course that it is in .177 caliber this time. You can check out my video review of the .22 version here. The specs, other than the muzzle velocity and caliber, are exactly the same as those of the .22 version. Note the compact length of 950 mm and the weight of less than 2.5 kg. So you guys who are not that familiar with air rifle shooting and the technical details thereof may very well ask but what the differences are between the .177 and .22 calibers. This image of the JSB Exact Jumbo Monster in .22 and the JSB Exact Monster in .177 clearly demonstrates the difference. The 25.4 grain .22 pellet on the left is obviously much more bulky than the 13.4 grain .177 pellet on the right. These are typical values that we find in .177 and .22 versions of the same powerful air rifle with the same power plant. You can see that although the .177 reaches a much higher muzzle velocity, the muzzle energy of the .22 is significantly higher. Don't be confused, these are not values for the Predator but hypothetical values to illustrate the point. So it would seem as if the .22 is much better than the .177. So why would anybody get the .177? Well, they do have their advantages. For starters, the .177s are about 20% cheaper than the .22s in these JSB Exact Monsters. Often, here in South Africa at least, the .177 versions are cheaper than the .22 versions of the same rifle. You also get more shots per fill with the lighter .177 pellets. And finally, of course, not everybody needs the higher energy of the .22 pellets. But enough of that. Let's move on to the more interesting part, the test itself. I'm not going to test everything that we've tested in the first test of the Predator .22. I'm only going to concentrate on those things that may be different as well as an accuracy test. So let's start. That is my wife Polly. I gave her the Predator as a Christmas gift, so she'll be doing the shooting through the Crony in this test. We plan to do it by shooting 3 different pellets, light, medium and heavyweight, in 5-shot strings and measuring the velocity with the Crony. We started off with these lightweight pellets, the H&N Finale Match Rifle of 8.2 grain. These were the results, which I found a little bit disappointing, as I had hoped for about 1,000 feet per second for these light pellets. Our medium pellets were these Premier Ultra Magnum domed pellets of 10.5 grain. We would also use them later on to determine the number of shots per fill. These results were even more disappointing. These heavier pellets could not even match the results of the lightweight H&Ns. We then moved on to these JSP Exact Monsters of 13.4 grain. And again, these were also a bit disappointing. I had hoped for about 20 to 22 foot-pound for these heavy pellets. We then moved on to determine the number of shots per fill using these Crossman Premier Ultra Mags of 10.5 grain. We felt that they were not too light and that it would give a reasonable representation of what could be expected in real life. This test went on and on and on, but the results were very interesting. We found that you could get 59 shots at more than 600 feet per second, with 51 of those shots at more than 700 feet per second. 12 of those shots were shot at more than 900 feet per second. This is how it looks plotted on a graph. That peak shows that it is clearly not a regulated rifle, but it's also not too peaky for an unregulated rifle. And those 60 shots at more than 600 feet per second, well, I think that is really impressive. Looking at it more closely, it looks like this. From 200 bar, the first shot reached 778 feet per second. The Predator reached its maximum velocity of 934 feet per second at the 25th shot with a pressure of 155 bar. We reached the 100 bar mark with the 39th shot at a velocity of 835 feet per second. We then continued shooting until the muzzle velocity dropped below 600 feet per second. This was on the 60th shot with the pressure at 55 bar. This is quite remarkable, as it means that you have about 20 more shots even after the pressure has dropped below 100 bar. After seeing these results, we decided to repeat the velocity testing. This time we would shoot 10 shot strings starting at 155 bar. These were the results. I was not disappointed at all anymore. These were the results I had expected all along. There was a significant increase in velocity and energy across all the pellets. In fact, there was an average increase in muzzle energy of almost 18% when starting from 155 compared to 200 bar. When power is a prime consideration, such as when you go hunting, I would recommend that you fill your rifle to 160 bar instead of 200 bar. You would obviously get less shots, but you would definitely have more power. To give the rifle a fair chance during accuracy testing, I fitted this Red Fox 4x32 AO scope. Polly liked the scope so much that she decided to keep it on for the meantime. After we zeroed the scope, Polly decided to try her hand at shooting a group. She is still a bit of a novice and not an expert marksman yet, but she shot this 10mm group at a range of 13 meters. This was in windy conditions using Crossman Premier Ultra Mags of 10.5 grain. I thought that this predicted excellent results when we came to the real accuracy testing. We started the accuracy testing by shooting 5-shot groups of 5 different pellets at a range of 10 meters. We used these 5 pellets from 3 different manufacturers, starting with the H&N 8.2 grain Finale match rifle wad cutters and then moving on, going heavier and heavier to the JSB Exact Monsters of 13.4 grain Diablos. We then took the 3 most accurate pellets and shot them at 25 meters to see what they did at a longer range. This time my son Stefan did the shooting for the accuracy testing. Our first test at 10 meters was with these H&N Finale Mat rifle of 8.18 grain. These are competition grade pellets and I had high hopes that they would give us excellent results at 10 meters. Imagine my surprise and disappointment when we shot this 29mm group at 10 meters. I was obviously quite concerned about this gun's accuracy at this time, but decided to blame it on the fact that these pellets are designed for use in low-powered competition rifles. But I needn't have been concerned. These JSB Exact Heavies of 10.34 grain shot this 4mm center to center group at 10 meters. That is truly excellent. These Crosman Premier Down pellets of 10.5 grain were not quite as good as the previous JSBs, but they still managed to make a group of 9mm center to center at 10 meters. The next H&N pellets were again disappointing. These silver point pointed pellets of 11.57 grain only managed a group of 16mm center to center at 10 meters. It would seem as if this rifle doesn't like the H&N brand. The next JSB pellets again returned excellent results. These JSB Exact Monsters of 13.43 grain gave us a group of 6mm center to center at a range of 10 meters. It looks as if the Predator likes these JSB Exact Diablo pellets. We then moved the target back to 25 meter. The Crosman Premiers then made a 5-shot group of 22mm center to center. The JSB Exact Monster was a little better with the 18mm group. Our final accuracy test of the day was with these JSB Exact Heavy Diablo pellets at a range of 25 meters. This is how it looked. These JSB Exact Heavies made a very respectable 13mm group at a range of 25 meters. These would be my choice in pellets for this gun. Although I haven't chrony tested them, they are very accurate and I expect them to have the same performance in regards to energy and velocity and shots per fill as the Crosman Premier 10.5 grains. Okay, so next we'll do the sound test, but by the way, there's a test of this JK Hondo Bless boom pop on the channel. This is the full power version, not the restricted British version. It makes for some interesting viewing, you should have a look at it. But moving on to the sound test. In our first test of the .22 Predator, we found that it's about as loud as a Crosman brake barrel, specifically the Fury NP, which is quite a medium loudness rifle. So we're not going to do the full test again, but just do a comparison between the .22 and the Predator .177. We'll shoot pellets of similar weight through each rifle and compare the sounds. We'll use these .22 Remington Express of 14 grain and compare it to the .17 JSB Exact Monster of 13.4 grain. So let's have a listen and hear how they sound. First, the .22. And now the .177. They sounded pretty much similar to me. I don't think there's a great difference in their sounds, but we'll have a look when we do the analysis on the graph. So as you've heard, the two guns sounded pretty similar. So let's now compare them visually on a graph. So as you can both see and hear, both the 22 and the 177 are pretty similar. So I think you can safely say that the 177 is only of medium loudness. The SPA PR900W, or Predator as it is known in South Africa, in .177 caliber is just as good as its bigger .22 brother. It is the same compact, lightweight and inexpensive air rifle, although it cannot be called the most inexpensive PCP air rifle in the world anymore. Crosman has recently released its Crosman Wildfire, an upgraded PCP version of the CO2 Power 1077. That rifle, however, is a low pressure 140 bar PCP. It is not as powerful as the Predator, and it is probably not as accurate. It also has plastic stock instead of the beautiful German beechwood stock that you get with the Predator. However, getting back to the Predator, compared to the .22, it is obviously less powerful, but it is still powerful enough to do some hunting. My wife shot this guinea fowl at a range of approximately 20 to 25 meters using the Crosman 10.5 Ultraman. As far as accuracy goes, which was a strong point of the .22 Predator, the .177 is probably just as accurate, if not more, and the amount of shots per fill, the number of shots per fill is actually amazing. I would say that for some people, if you don't need the power, go for this .177. It is the same price, just as handsome, just as well made, a little less powerful, but then very accurate. The ammunition is cheaper and you get many more shots per fill. I have decided to award the same scores to the Predator .177 as I did for the Predator .22. Both these rifles are excellent value for money purchases, and the decision about which rifle to purchase would be based on your specific requirements. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and keep watching South African Air Gunner for more interesting videos in the future.